Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Corey, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode, the 3 mistakes in a sexless relationship. I think a lot of you guys are making these mistakes, and it's not just 3. I think these are 3 common ones. There's quite a lot of other ones that I could put in here, but these are the ones that I think would give you the most insight. And I'm going to give you 3 solutions that you can do as well, so you can, that way, when you walk away from this episode, you can say, okay, I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3, and then hopefully start seeing some effective change. Because a lot of you guys have tried so many things. You've been doing this for quite some time. You've got no idea what you're doing wrong, and more importantly, what you need to do right. Because I know a lot of you guys, and I think this is one thing I was speaking to somebody, it's like they're saying, why don't they just do this, and then it will work out. And I was like, a lot of people that I speak to, they are trying. This is really, really, really important. And I know how important it is for you guys. And you are trying. In fact, the very fact that you're listening to this episode and you're listening to a podcast about changing your relationship, it means that you are taking it very serious. So this is why I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the fact that you're spending time with me with this. And so I'm taking it serious. If you notice, in the last few episodes, I've now change the format that I do the episodes. So I'm trying to follow a real structure of how I'm going to say, give you what the problems are that you're facing, and then hopefully you walk away with a solution as well. So I'm trying to structure it that way, and I think I kind of like this. So maybe long continue. So there's 3 common mistakes that most people make in a sexless relationship. I think problem number 1, and this one is universal, is offering up more sex when there is no sex in the relationship. Like, that's the worst one. In fact, that's what they call insane, isn't it? That you keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. I know there's been times when you had a different result, but in terms of changing your sexless relationship for sexual success, in fact, for long-term success, offering up more sex is probably the most destructive thing that you can do. In fact, it's counterintuitive to exactly what you want. So offering up more sex is a bad idea, because a lot of the reasons why she's been rejecting you is because there's no sexual comfort around your relationship. So therefore, by offering up more sex, you're compounding on that feeling of her feeling uncomfortable. So that's the first one, and that's a very common one. And whenever I say to people that there's so much resistance by this, that they say, oh no, that's not right. And I can tell you, the more you do the date nights where you are trying to make time in order to have sex, whenever you do dishes around the house in order to have sex, when you do all these industrious things in order to have sex, all it does is make it manipulative. She sees it as though everything that you're about is all about sex. In fact, that's where that term comes from. Whenever you now start trying to discuss about it, or whenever you talk about it, she says all you want is sex, because she feels it as you're doing all these acts around to manufacture opportunities to have sex. Usually that's when it becomes like that. So it becomes a burden for not only for you in order to do this, but it's a burden for her in order to fulfill that. So again, offering up sex, biggest mistake ever when you're in a sexless relationship. And the second one is the victim mindset. So when you do get rejected, there's a lot of you guys implode. Now, I'm saying a lot of you guys because I'm not part of that club anymore. But I know the times when I imploded, that would compound on the problem, because I would then have these behaviors of a victim. So whenever we talk about sex and the lack of sex, I'll be like, look how I feel so depressed. I've lost myself. I cannot think, I cannot imagine. And really, from a woman's perspective, all she's seeing is pathetic weasel that doesn't know how to lead, that doesn't know how to handle pressure. And the whole time I was trying to explain to her how important sex was, and how it's important for our relationship, and how it's important for my mental well-being. In her, I'm explaining this to you guys, and you guys get it. In her mind, what she was hearing is, I'm weak, I don't know how to be sexual, I don't know how to seduce, I'm useless, and that's how it's translated over the other side. Like, okay, this guy is quite pathetic, he doesn't know what he's doing. And I know it's harsh, we're harshly judged as men, because we are painted as these real sexual creatures that know exactly what they need to be doing. And women are more like 90% of the time want to take the submissive role when it comes to sex. So when you are offering it up in a transactional manner, and then so she complies initially, but now she requires a little bit more, and then she's not comfortable to go further until you prove otherwise. And generally it comes down to you proving that you're a leader, you're somebody who's dominant. When she does that, then she feels more comfortable to be following you. Now, if you show this, oh my God, you've rejected me, I'm going to fall apart and I don't know what to do, I'm now losing my mental health, I'm not poo-pooing on mental health. This is a real deal. I speak to a lot of guys that are suffering massively because of this. But if you take a victim mindset with it, it compounds on the problem. So it's not good for me just to cuddle you around this mental health stuff and say, okay, yes, I understand this, and yes, you're justified to have this, and then I push you down the path of a victim. No, you have to take that opportunity and say, you know what, I'm not a victim in this place here. She doesn't have comfort around sex. How do I build comfort around sex? So when you see yourself as a victim, it really does compound on the fact that you're not capable as a man, and that is not attractive at all. So the other one is then, and last but not least, is disguising sexual intent. So I've been guilty of this one massively, even recently, where things are a little bit dry, but you don't really want to make a move sexually because you're afraid of being rejected. So you disguise sexual intent. So you make some sort of innuendo. If she's holding some sort of pole, you'd be like, oh, I wish you were holding my pole, type thing. I don't even know what to do. I don't know what you guys say, but you say something that is sort of sexy, or you're trying to find some way in sexy by saying something that is sexual, just to gauge to see where she's at. Now that's quite weak in terms of seduction because you're ambiguous with it. And again, it shows lack of confidence, and therefore she sees no value whatsoever in it. And again, that is one of the mistakes that most guys make because they're not showing sexual intent. I would rather show sexual intent and actually get her to say, no, I'm not happy right now. And again, from previous the previous point that I made, that when she says, no, I'm not ready right now, it's not a rejection where she says completely no. She's actually telling you that I'm not comfortable to have sex right now. I'm not comfortable to go to this process of arousal or seduction. So I need to get into that place. So it's more now about the question, how do I show my sexual intent in a way that she feels comfortable? And how do I get her to be comfortable around my sexual intent so we can go into arousal or seduction or whatever it is that we're going to be going into. But that's the sort of where you should be looking at it, which is a little bit different to, I like the way you're holding that pen. So sorry. I'm so sorry. I was looking for an innuendo, but I was holding a pen and it just came to my mind. So I'm so sorry about that. I'm just having fun with this. Lately, I think I've been sort of letting go a little bit. I'm a bit silly. So, and I've always sort of tried to become serious. I'm this coach, so I have to be serious. And one person said, I was being silly on one of the coaching courses because I really like the way that you are right now, because I'm having more fun around the calls. And I was like, yeah, I sort of keep that secret because I don't want people to think I'm not taking it serious, but I do. And I do. Like, this is from the moment I wake up, it's the only thing I'm thinking about. But I think a large part of my personality needs to come out. So within those problems that I was telling you guys, I was also offering up solutions. But I did write another few things that you could do, and I'm just going to go through them pretty quickly because we're running out of time here. But yeah, it's just, I said, you need to build comfort around sex, which is very important. So that's one of the solutions, that when you're around people, you have to be, when you're around your wife or spouse, when you're showing sexual intent, you have to be thinking, how do I build comfort? Okay, she says no right now. She's not interested in having sex. So how do I build that comfort around us? And again, it doesn't even have to be about sex. How do I build comfort around us feeling arousal, how do we get into seduction? How do we actually just get to slow things down so we can feel that feeling of chemistry? So you're breaking it down to these really small pieces, and then reframing rejection is another bit. So that's one solution, that you have to view it as a maybe instead of viewing it as this is the end, because a lot of you guys sort of get rejected and then all of a sudden you're now out. Your world is ended, basically, and that's, you have to reframe that. And when you see it differently as a maybe, and then also seeing rejection as an opportunity for you to actually say, okay, how do I build comfort around sex? And then that changes everything when it comes to that. And then the last one was being unapologetic and with your sexuality, like really being unapologetic about it, and really, when you're unapologetic with it, it's tying into some of your self-worth, where you say, you know what, yes, I am sexual. Yes, I'm all about sex when it comes to the relationship, because that's how I feel connected to you. I'm not going to, because I think some of you guys are not, you're not ready to reconcile. You're not ready to reconcile with that. You feel a bit embarrassed that sex is a problem within your relationship and there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. It's a good thing that that's how you connect, and you have to be able to embrace it. So if some of you guys don't embrace it, and therefore it's not congruent. So what congruent means is that your thoughts, your actions, and your thoughts, your actions, and your behaviors are in line to what you believe. And when you can do that, where I'm unapologetic about my sexual intent, and I'm doing something sexual and I'm got good conviction, my wife will feel that. And even though she says no, I'm unfazed by the no, because I'm comfortable with no, because I know who I am. I'll be, and that's the frame, that when you take that frame, it's so much stronger and it's so much more seductive, that even though when she says no, she just says that, okay, he's still confident, he's still ready, and it almost puts the pressure on her now. Okay, every time she says no, it's her that's saying no to the opportunity to connect, because she knows that you're comfortable with that. That's how you connect in the relationship, and that's necessary for you. And again, I'm not saying this as a way of you to go and tell her that this is necessary for me, you have to do it for me. It's something that it still has to be in the confines of, or at least the constraints of, being collaborative, you building within the relationship. So thank you very much. It's been a longer episode than I expected it to be, but hopefully it's something that you can take away and think and start implementing into your relationship. So thank you very much. See you guys soon. By the way, if you got any questions regarding this, go to our Instagram, Thriving_Tribesmen, and you'll be able to ask any question about your relationship, anything. No problem. We'll be able to answer your question. And if it makes it, maybe we might feature your question on the next episode. So thank you very much. See you guys soon. Take care.